A run on some of the best coaches in the group of six has begun, with Ryan Silverfield announcing that he is expected to be I should say, he hasn't announced it. Arkansas is expected to announce that he will be the next head coach at Arkansas. And we get news that Alex Galesh is expected to be the next head coach at Auburn. And that's just two of the best group of six coaches in the country that are taking Power 4 jobs in this cycle. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching Adapt and Respond, thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, answer the question in the comments below. Do you like the move of Ryan Silverfield from Memphis to Arkansas? Because I do. He's been a quiet front runner for that job for some time, and I think that's how you handle it if you are Arkansas and you are Silverfield. This was kind of floated, but not loudly. Trial balloon kind of went up in the air a couple of weeks ago, but it always kind of looked like this was a great fit, meaning that it was a matter of time. Now, Silverfield needed to finish the season. Is his team going to coach in the American Championship? No. They did not have the kind of season that they hoped to have this year. I thought Memphis coming into this year would have been the best team in the group of six. Turned out to not be so. Took some one embarrassing loss, I think, to UAB, but the rest kind of all over the map. You lose to a good Navy team, and all your losses in conference play, but that does not underscore the job that Ryan Silverfield has done since becoming a head coach at Memphis. He was offensive line coach for Mike Norvell when he was the head coach in Memphis, and then he was the guy that was elevated from that job when Norvell decided to become the head coach of Florida State. Since then, all they've done is win. He's gone bowling every single year that he's been head coach at Memphis. They went 8-3 in 2020, which is rather remarkable when you think about what 2020 meant for a lot of us. Then they come back and go 6-6. Not great, but they go bowling, playing in the Hawaii Bowl. 2022, they're in the First Responder Bowl going 7-6, and then they have a really great year, Liberty, where they go 10-3, back that up with an 11-win season last year, and that's what I thought they were building to. Means that the man has been 50-25 over the course of his career, 27-21 in conference play, but also we're talking about a dude that has had a team that scored 20 points, at least 20 points in every game they played up until they played Memphis on Thanksgiving. That is 51 games in a row, 20 points or more. Really, really remarkable streak. I think one of the funniest notes on his resume is that he was a head coach at high school for just one season, and his team at Memorial Day went 1-9 and 0-4. Some guys might think that that's not a great way to get started, and I pretty much agree with them. But it also does not really get around to what it is that Ryan Silverfield has done to get to a job like Arkansas, not just starting at the bowl school in Florida and going eventually to Memorial Day, but becoming quarterbacks coach at Jacksonville, and then a GA at Central Florida. Worked in the Minnesota Vikings as a quality control coordinator for a little while before becoming an offensive consultant at Toledo, Arizona State, 2015, where he was, that 2015 staff at Arizona State is actually one of my favorites. Detroit Lions, guys, as an assistant OLL coach. And then 2016, he gets, I think, his big break where Mike Norvell puts him on staff as the offensive line coach. And you could see Memphis has always been a great running football team. When they've had a quarterback that can sling it, they've been great. The defense has always played pretty well. I think that this is a good fit for Memphis. As a matter of fact, I thought with Lane Kiffin expected to take a job at LSU, the first guy that I would be talking to was the dude up the road in Ryan Silverfield, who I think is a good fit for the SEC. I know that he talked a little bit of noise earlier this year when it was, I always say, hey, one thing we don't want to be like, and he chose to pick on Georgia at one point, talking about, hey, we don't want to be the guys that are doing 110 in a 65, all right? Or Georgia fans didn't much like it. Memphis fans were like, okay. And all the while I'm looking, I don't know, I kind of like the energy, right? The energy is one of a guy who's a winner. Like, even when he leaves this program in 2025, he's going to leave it better than he found it. Again, 8-4 is a down year at Memphis, and that tells you a lot about the standards for what Memphis is chasing. They tried to get in the Big 12 last year. They offered up basically $200 million and free and clear and to get in there, and the Big 12 said, we're not interested. I think this also goes to show nobody wants to end up like the ACC, right? Meaning you let SMU in there, and SMU all of a sudden is stealing an ACC bid from longtime members last year. And then this year, nearly played themselves into the conference championship game. But because the ACC is so big and convoluted, Duke at 7-5 is going to have an opportunity to play for the ACC championship game, get in the college football playoff. I think Arkansas is just looking to get back toward the kind of seasons that Memphis has had the last, 2 years, 11-3. I mean, 10-3 and 11-2. I think with him at the helm, you can do that. He's going to be able to recruit the area. Probably going to take some players with him from Memphis, but it's also a guy who's unafraid to work. At 45, he's still young enough to understand that just because they changed the rules, name, image, and likeness, revenue sharing, immediate transfer in the transfer portal, and the quality of player that you must get to Arkansas if you expect to contend, it's a guy that still wants to put his hands in the dirt and go to work. I think Fayetteville will absolutely wrap its arms around him, give him a little bit of time. Not the most charismatic dude out in public, but behind closed doors he is. Players love him. I know that it's not the splash hire that Arkansas fans want, and I know that many of them think that there's another level up to the kind of coach that they should get, but this is not Chad Morris, right? And I don't mean to degrade Chad Morris personally. I mean his time at Arkansas, right? This is not that hire for me. This is a competent hire. I think it's a talented hire, and I think you're going to give this dude the tools to build. He's going to make you proud, and that's what you want. Is he going to contend for national championships? Who knows, right? Like it's as big and wide open a field as it's ever been in the sport. There are more ways to get in. Is it going to be the Indiana team that we've seen Kirk Cignetti have? Probably not. Whether you're the number 2 team in the country going into this week for the conference championship, but are you going to be able to contend with A&M? Are you going to be able to contend with Texas? Are you going to be able to contend with Missouri, Oklahoma? I think given time you will. Like this, the way that I look at this hire is it can be for Arkansas what Eli Drinkwitz is for Missouri. That I think is all you can expect right now, reasonably. There are going to be changes. There are going to be some things that catch us off guard, but job number one is get the right guy in there to take the job, take the reins, try to keep what you like about the team, and then go recruit a team that can compete in the way that Missouri's been able to compete the last few years when Auburn has been running. Like that's the tier that you're running in right now. And you're going to see a lot of the same faces as the group of 6 turned out some really great young coaches. I mentioned Alex Gillespie. We'll talk about him in another segment, but this is the third dude out of the American to get a Power 4 job following Eric Morris at UNT. I mentioned Ryan Silverfield is going to be the head coach of Arkansas here, and I mentioned that Alex Gillespie is going to be the head coach at Auburn. These are good things. This is a good thing, Arkansas. I'm proud of you. This is going to work out. I hope. I hope it's going to work out.